Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. In Ireland here, the sun has returned. The sky, there's no clouds in the sky. It's not raining for the first time, and it feels like I think we had like one sunny week this year so far. That's it. It's back. We've got another week of sun. So I'm very excited. I'm also excited. We've got two bits of news to cover today. First one is small. We'll get more info on that tomorrow. But there's going to be a Sylvan summon pool starting on Sunday, ends on Thursday. Blade Carster Caldor and Raya the Mourned are in there. So Raya, she's the new Void Legendary, the event dungeon boss. I think she's excellent. Multi-hits. We're stupidly strong with the obviously very balanced Stormcaller Relic. Very good against Mercurial, also very good against Stone Skin. Glass Cannon, but a hell of a cannon. And Blade Carster Caldor, he is a weird one. One of the weirder faction unities for sure. I do think the buff to King Galkabar is really good for this guy. Because he comes in, he can remove all buffs, put decreased defense weaken. Great, cool. He does ignore more defense for each poison on the enemy though. And if they're under poison, he will attack all other enemies, doing damage proportional to the initial target's max HP and how many poison debuffs are on them. His A2, it can put poisons on enemies and more poisons, and then activate a tick of all poisons on all enemies. I think on auto, he never does that. From my testing anyway, he never did it. Even when I tried to set it up, he would always cast it on himself, give himself basically perfect veil and a bunch of continuous heals, and he'd gain a bunch of turn meter. And then having continuous heals increases his crit rate, gives him more damage, gives him a bunch of stuff. He's interesting. His A1 is actually surprisingly strong. A very good AoE that can hit hard, can stun. He's a weird champion. Like, where do you use him? I don't know, man. Like, he's okay for Chimera, but it's odd. He's going to be a beast for Faction Wars. But yeah, he's a weird one. I think he's fun. I think he's so unique. I think for me, he's a champion that's like, he's certainly not a must-have. But if you're looking for a unique champion, he's cool, right? Because there's nobody else that works even vaguely like this guy. He is bizarre. I should have mentioned, this is an enemy max HP hit as well. He is bizarre. I think he's fun to play with, but I don't think he's doing anything special that nobody else can do. Raya is cool. People liking her a lot. I think she's, very good. She is a glass cannon. I think she's very good. However, that's from that event. It's fairly unlikely you're going to get that stuff, obviously. However, summon pool. We do have something that you might be able to get. And this is the bigger bit of news for me here today. So Monday, the 22nd of June. So the upcoming Monday, an Ethereal deck of fate where you can get the champion Talina Soulseer. Ooh. So this is from, let's go red because it's appropriate, summoning souls from soul stones and upgrading champions. So champion training and summon rush, essentially. Soul rush. I should not summon rush. Soul rush. Soul rush. So there you are. It's going to be up for 96 hours. You'll not be able to pin cards, so you might, get some matching cards, get some chests with some bonus rewards. Really, you're going into this, you're going to pick up a few resources along the way. But you're either going to dip your toes in from some random champ training, or more likely just skip it entirely, or you're going the whole way to get the champion. I will, before we talk about her, I will mention that very quickly, guys. There's 40 cards in the deck usually, and 18 of these cards, 18 of them have fragments behind them. So you have almost a 50% chance that you're going to have to flip every single card in the deck. Like, it's pretty close. The chance that the final card has fragments behind it, obviously it changes as you start pulling them, but, going into this blind, you're looking at like a 50-50 that you have to flip every single card, and realistically, you're going to have to flip most of them. You have to be absurdly lucky to flip 3/4 of the deck and to get enough for the champion. That is incredibly unlikely to happen. You need to be prepared to flip everything in the deck of fate. You're going to need either lots of soul stones, or to do a hell of a lot of champion training, or a combination of the two. Yeah. Is she good? Let's take a look at Talina. Is she a good champion? Will this do something useful for you? She's got 152 reviews so far. They're pretty good, eh? Yeah, they're pretty good. I think Talina is excellent. She is really, really nice. So when she first came out, I was like, okay, here we go. The A3 is incredible, and 110 base speed as well. So she's got the speed to back it up. Increase accuracy on herself, AoE attack, decrease enemy buffs by 2 turns, increase enemy skills by 2 turns. The crucial comparison for me is Fabian. They have the same aura. She has 1 base speed more than him, same accuracy as him. He comes in, AoE attack, decrease enemy buffs by 3 turns, increase their skill cooldowns by 3 turns. So he gets an extra turn of buff decrease and cooldown increase. She gets increased accuracy. It's an interesting trade-off. A key thing, just it's easy to get confused about it. Increasing skills by 3 turns, you're not stopping enemies from using their skills for 3 turns. You're actually stopping them from 2 turns. By the way, my dog pulled on the lead to try to get towards it. We were crossing the road, and she went backwards to try to play with another dog and ripped a big chunk of skin off my finger, which is why I got the bandage, if you're wondering. Bad dog. Yeah, you increase their skills by 3 turns. You're basically stopping them from using their skills for 2 turns unless something else happens. Because they've got 3 turns of cooldown. They take their first turn, they're down to 2. Take the next turn, they're down, and then it's down on their 3rd turn. The 3rd turn is ready to go, so you've stopped them for 2 turns. For Talina, then, it's a good bit weaker. So I don't think decreasing buffs by 2 turns, I don't think that's a massive difference. It's somewhat unusual to get buffs for 3 turns. It does happen, but it's not as common. Most often they're for 2 turns, the buffs. So the difference in buff decreasing, I think give it or take it or leave it. I don't think it's a massive difference. However, increasing enemy skills by 2 turns is significantly weaker, and you will probably have noticed this if you've ever used Basher's classic example. Increase enemy skills by 2 turns, yeah. Or Alika is another really good example, and they are good budget options. Increase enemy skills by 2 turns. Epics have that. Epics can do increase skills by 2 turns because it is significantly weaker. Increase skills by 2 turns. Enemies come in, they take their first turn. They've got 1 turn cooldown left. On their 2nd turn, boop, it's ready to go. They're good to go again. You've locked them out basically for 1 turn. So Fabian, lock them out for 2 turns. Talina, lock them out for 1 turn. It is worse in practice than it seems on paper. On paper, it looks like 3 versus 2. In reality, it's 2 versus 1. It's a bigger differential. That being said, obviously, if you stack this with other champions who can increase skill cooldowns a bit, then it's going to work really well. You're going to be fine, whereas you might overkill if you're running multiple lockouts, because you can't push them past max, the cooldowns. But it is a good bit weaker. On the flip side, the fact you get a much weaker lockout, but it is still a 1-turn lockout, which is great. And she has increased accuracy, self-buff before attacking. So she is very consistent at actually landing that buff decrease and cooldown increase. Fabian needs to build more accuracy than her to do the same job. Or possibly against really high resistance enemies, your Fabian might not be able to do it, but she might. So that is a big difference. I think that counts as well. And then she's also very generally versatile. So Fabian comes in and he's like a true fear spam champion. And he counters revivers as well. Like he has got crazy control on all of his stuff. So not only are you dealing with his increasing skills, he's also spamming true fear on you. She doesn't do that. She has another AoE attack with 2 poisons for 3 turns. And also turn meter boost for your team, which is really good. Her A1 can activate poisons. Her passive is giving your whole team turn meter whenever poisons activate, which is great. And she also debuffs enemies, not bosses, unfortunately. You might be too strong, but for PvP, wave and wave-based content, you're going to be decreasing enemies' crit rate and crit damage, particularly for waves in PvE. They often don't have more than 15% crit rate. They could have 30% if they're positive affinity to you. So if you get a few poisons out there, you could be really limiting enemies' abilities to crit you in Grim Forest or Faction Wars Hard or Cursed City, whatever. She's going to do great stuff. The poisons also opens up the Arachnelixir Relic to be a very strong thing for her. She doesn't have crazy base attack, but you can throw the Arachnelixir Relic on and her poisons will do way more damage. And that's going to make her a surprisingly good wave clear champion for waves, because those poisons are going to do crazy damage. And she puts them up for 3 turns as well. It's a long duration poison. She's going to be quick. She's going to cycle through her turns quickly. There's going to be a very, very surprisingly good damage dealer for things like, Dragon and Faction Wars. She's going to be bringing you a bit of control. It's increased accuracy for her whole team. And she's going to do good damage with poisons and turn meter boosting. A very good generalist. I think in PvP, Fabian is clearly better. He's better. His lockout is much stronger. However, she is super useful. And I think certainly for Tag Team Arena, for Siege, you could easily be looking for 3 lockout champions. Now, I think if you're coming in and you say, Nub, I've got a 6-star +4 Sabrael, and I also have got 2 +4 6-star Crixias. Do I need Talina? Maybe probably not, let's be honest. But I mean, you might as well get her, because I mean, what's it gonna cost you? Nothing. That's a drop in the ocean for you, my friend. But I think if you got loads and loads of lockout champions, she's not going to be quite as enticing. Whereas I think for most players, what you've got here, you put really good gear on her, and without having to change gear with free gear swapping, which you could do anyway, right? But you've got a really useful champion for Siege, for Tag Team Arena, for Live Arena. You're definitely going to use her quite a bit. And she's also going to be very good for a lot of dungeons and wave content. She's going to fit in really well and be super useful. So I think she's a fantastic generalist, a fantastic PvP champion. In short, in my opinion, she's definitely worth it. When I first read her kit, I was super impressed. Then I did my first testing and I was like, oh man, the short cooldown increase, it does feel a bit bad. Then I tested her some more and I was like, actually, when I start playing around it, it starts to feel good. One really interesting build you can do with her as well is, I don't think I've got anyone handy. It's difficult to do this build, deflection gear. But if you've got deflection gear, it's pretty interesting, particularly the 6-star benefit here. When you do bonus damage proportional to your own accuracy to enemies that block debuffs from the wearer, once per skill, this damage can remove total guard. So with Talina, it's a pretty wrong faction. It's a pretty nifty thing that she can do, and it's very cool, is if you don't need to lock the enemies out, you could come in and A2. It's an AoE attack, so you're fighting a team. They're all in 9 pieces of Mercurial. You're in 6 pieces of deflection on your Talina. You come in, you go, okay, I'm faster than them. Okay, great. I do her A2. The attack itself removes 1 stack of total guard. Then the 2 poisons, it can only trigger deflection once, but it triggers deflection, and bam, she has removed 2 stacks of total guard, and then she boosts your turn meter by 20%. And she got that turn meter or speed aura in all battles as well. That's pretty cool. There are very few champions, very few, who can remove 2 stacks of total guard and boost turn meter. Off the top of my head, to be honest, I can't think of any. There's probably some. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments who else can do it. That's a very unusual combination of skills. So you can strip off 2 stacks of Mercurial, turn meter boost your team, set your team up to potentially just kill them straight away, which is really cool. So you've got the 2 options. So you open with the A2, you open with the A3. Obviously, if you build her in deflection, you're probably struggling to get good deflection gear. Like deflection accessories are essentially locked behind Platinum Arena, which is obviously an amazing decision, and it's great, obviously. Sorry, coughing my good stuff, yeah. You're going to probably lack some speed and accuracy, probably compared to what you could do with other builds, or like Supersonic or something, or just Perception. I don't know, it's going to be a bit trickier, but it is a really interesting option. Tell you what, you want the best of both worlds? Here you go, my friends. How about this? How about this? If you've got, I don't have this relic. If you did have this relic, though, 50%, they go up to 100% chance to take 2 turns in a row. How about that, my friends? So you come in, you say, enemies are in 3 pieces of 3 stacks of total guard from Mercurial. Okay, well, I give myself increased accuracy. I increase their skills. If they do have anyone in Stone Skin, I potentially remove that Stone Skin. Then I go in with the A2, Chrono Cube, A2. I hit them. My deflection triggers, bam. 3 stacks of total guard gone from my extra turn. And I turn meter boost my team as well. How about that? Now, she misses her next turn, but no big deal. No big deal. It's interesting. Again, you can see some of my testing with her as well. One thing with her, if you do run her with the Arachnelixir Relic and the Lethal Dose Blessing, just to mention this too, if you run her with the Arachnelixir Relic and the Lethal Dose Blessing, you're obviously giving up uh, quite a bit. There's a significant enough, which is something to bear in mind when you're building her. There's a significant opportunity cost to it compared to running a relic that would give you accuracy or speed, or in this case, I can still lock out skill cooldowns even when landing a weak hit. And I'm giving up potentially intimidating presence or temporal chains, something that can help me more to be faster and to secure that speed for my team. So there is quite a big opportunity cost if you build her for poisons, but you can build her for poisons and she can do quite a bit of damage in arena with those poisons potentially. It's more of a later game build. You need to be in faction wars hard to get Arachne Elixir. But yeah, she's a pretty high priority champion as well to get a 5 and 6 star soul. This is the sort of champion. Folan, I talked about it in the Folan Titan, right? Titan event for Folan right now, which I'm skipping the 5 star. I'm not going for it. I'm going to go for this relic, but I'm not going for the 5 star. But Folan, I said, he's great with the 5. He really benefits from the 5 star. He does benefit from the 6 star, but it's not really worth buying a 6 star upgrade for him. It's the opposite for Talina. It's different for her. She really, really does want a 6 star. She really wants a 6 star blessing. That extra speed can be the difference between winning or losing, right? You're faster than their Fabian, or their Fabian's faster than you. That easily could come down to who has the 6 star blessing or not. So it's a pretty big deal. Anyway, long story short, is this a good guaranteed champion event? Yes, I think she's excellent. She's likely going to be highly used by early, mid, late, and even endgame players. I think the people least likely to use her would be endgame Krakens. I think if you've got like Crixia, Sabriel, either one of the two, and Fabian already, maybe you got Yumiko and or Warlord. Like, you know, when you start stacking up, you can only build, you're not going to have the gear and the relics and everything. You're only going to have so many lockout champions, so she will be less useful if you got multiple already. But if you've got less than 3, if you have fewer than 3 lockout champions, I would highly, highly recommend doing it, basically. I think it's super worth it. So that's my thoughts on that. I think she's super worth it. So there you go. I'm going to be pulling my soul stones for it. YOLO, let's go. I'm definitely doing it. And I am going to be prepared as well to get a 5 star soul for her in the future. And she would be, again, worth considering for me, possibly putting up to 6 star. She definitely would. Yep. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think about it. Are you excited? Are you not? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. As I said, have a great weekend. And yeah, I don't know if there'll be any more news tomorrow. Probably not, but I will certainly see you for Monday. Oh yeah, it's going to be kicking off on Monday. We're going to be pulling stuff. And yeah, boom, boom, boom. We should also be moving into the second half, like coalition event, new login champion, next fusion. Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a lot of stuff to talk about in the upcoming week. Thanks. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.